So today I wanted to cover a topic that I've tried to cover before, but people, I guess, just don't believe me. And so I'm going to try to put it into a way that makes sense. So it's not a believable issue. It's just a realistic issue. People don't believe that I can live below the poverty level, make very little money, and have a good savings account, a good retirement plan, be debt-free, have a fairly nice car that's paid for, and be able to pay $4,200 on a piece of property, build a tiny house for $5,000, and do all that within a year, be able to get solar panels, be able to rebuild my well, just all the things that we've done around here. We've spent quite a bit of money, and they don't understand how this is possible. Because of course, you still got to eat, you got bills you got to pay, there's things you got to spend money on. If you're below the poverty level in this country, it's not possible to survive. You can't do it. And to be able to have anything nice is the argument. I guess when you look at me and you think, okay, he's below the poverty level, and he does have a lot of nice things. He's working to clean up the property. I mean, of course, it needs a lot of work, and perfect example is we got this big mess right here. So I guess I do understand why folks don't believe me when I say that I have a savings account, and it's a very nice savings account. Carolyn and I don't worry about money anymore. We just don't worry about it. Last night the truck overheated again. It overheated last year also. And same thing happened. I thought, man, I'm gonna take it in and get it fixed again. For whatever reason, I figured out the problem. I think it's the radiator cap. That's beside the point. The point is the biggest downfall to the truck being broke down wasn't, oh my gosh, how are we gonna afford this? It was, oh man, now I got to take it in and get it fixed. And it is such a nice feeling not to worry about money. Like, okay, well, we'll just go get it fixed. This truck's got 80,000 miles on it. It seems to run pretty good. Every now and then it comes up a little issue like this. But what are we going to do if it breaks down? Well, I'm not going to buy a new one. I like new vehicles, but we don't drive that much, so we'll just go get a used one. But this one, I got enough money that I'll just try to keep it repaired until it just becomes like a nuisance. How do we do this? Well, the first thing is you got to stop thinking about money as money. I know that's a tough concept to bite onto. What does that mean? I don't look at money and say, this is how much I have. I look at my assets and my time and say, that's how much I've spent on stuff. For example, the other day I was talking about if the economy goes bad or something happens, I don't remember exactly what the topic was, but I was talking about, I think everybody needs to start thinking about backyard gardening or backyard livestock. Can you raise chickens in your area? Can you raise rabbits? And somebody said, oh, rabbits are just too much work. Why would anybody want to do that? And then they always go to the default answer. Just go to the store. Okay, well, that's where we all fall into trap with, is money versus time. Too much work. You would rather go to your job, work all day, 8 hours a day, collect a check, go to the store, come home, and say, I don't have enough money to do the nice things, be able to buy a new car, or being debt-free, buying a piece of property, building a tiny house. I would rather do the work with the rabbits. Much more pleasurable to do it on my time when I want to than having to go in and work for an employer telling me to do it on their time when they want me to. I'm always at risk of getting fired at my job also. With the rabbits, it's unlikely I'm going to get fired. I mean, I could have troubles with the rabbits. Rabbits may get sick, some of them may die. Chickens, we had some die on us. That's been a challenge getting that process started, but now it's up and running. It's doing great. Doesn't actually take that much time. And they're actually producing quite a bit of food now. And in the summertime, we're going to start selling eggs, and we'll make enough money off of them that we can buy the pig feed and the chicken feed, so there's no cost. The chickens will be producing all the money we need to feed them. It all depends on what you consider work. Do you enjoy going to work every day? Getting up 5 o'clock in the morning, driving into work, snow conditions and misery and rain and cold and dealing with the boss, dealing with people. These are things that I have avoided, but I still do the same amount of work as what you do at the employer. Now, I bring this up a lot, and I don't think people get this when I talk about firewood. Firewood is more valuable in my mind than money. Money fluctuates. Money goes up inflation. So this year you make $10 an hour. Next year you make $10 an hour. But your products, let's say you spent $10 on the electric bill. I know I'm being silly here. So you work an hour to pay your electric bill. Well, next year the electric bill goes up to $20, but you're still making $10. That's inflation. Now you're not making enough to pay the electric bill in that 1 hour. Now you got to work 2 hours to pay that electric bill. Again, these are just example numbers. Now your time is worth less money than it was last year. This firewood, though, doesn't matter what year I burn it, it's the same value. Let's say it takes me an hour to produce a month's worth of heat, electric, using the same scenario, where it takes you 1 hour to pay your electric bill. Well, next year yours goes up, so now your time's worth half. But next year, I still have the same amount of heat. So that is not affected by inflation. It still produces the same amount of energy and still only took the same amount of work. Nothing changes. So my work is always very profitable. I know exactly how much time it's going to take to produce what I need. The thing about firewood, what's really interesting, if I wanted to sell the firewood, let's say this year I sell it for $100, a cord of firewood for $100. But next year, it could be worth the same cord, could be worth $200. That's how money works. It's crazy. So I'm actually able to increase my revenue, whereas your revenue didn't change. You got paid $10 an hour this year, you get paid $10 an hour next year. Here, being here is more profitable. The other thing is we don't spend money past the initial cost. You know, we got solar panels, and 15, 20 years, we're gonna get new solar panels. But that cost is spread out over 15 years. So I got $1,000. So it's gonna be about $75 a year is what I'm gonna have to save back for electric. Now, most people pay $75 a month for electric. My costs are very low. The thing is that we have to minimize our lives to do that. We don't run that much electric. We got a refrigerator, and Carolyn and I have desperately tried to figure out how to get rid of that refrigerator. If we ever figure it out, that'd be the first thing to go, reducing the amount of electric that we have to produce. Meaning, I won't have to replace my solar panels quite as fast because I won't need as much electric. They won't just die and go bad. They'll just continuously get worse and worse and worse over time. These solar panels, if we get rid of the refrigerator, may last the rest of my life. So you're always looking at ways to continue to minimize what you need in life and still be happy. That's the key, is I'm probably more happy than most folks. Now, this is a subject that a lot of people don't want to hear. Carolyn and I only have one addiction, and that's coffee. We drink 2 pots of coffee, 2 percolator fulls of coffee. So that's one for me, one for her. But coffee right now is not that expensive. We can make a jar, can of coffee, last a couple of weeks. So, you're talking, what is that, $5 every couple of weeks, $10 a month. But when you're talking about alcohol or cigarettes, I used to smoke, so I can talk about cigarettes. It just ran you broke. You were constantly trying to feed that habit. If you can get rid of the addictions, just completely, Carolyn and I don't drink, we don't smoke, just coffee, you're gonna see a huge increase in revenue without doing a thing other than quitting. Now, I understand it. It's tough to quit, and me sitting here harping on you is doing nothing but making you angry about the subject. And because I was there, I know. Oh, shut up. I know what smoking does. What am I spending on cigarettes? It's a ton of money. I'm gonna be free and I'm gonna smoke and no one's gonna take them out of my mouth. I get it. But it is one of the best things I have done. And without being too preachy, I'm really glad I did it. And the health benefits are enormous. I remember right before I quit smoking, I was getting a real dark tar looking thing accumulating on my teeth, and I was sure it was the cigarettes. Ended up losing this tooth right here over that. It just fell out. I'd take a little piece of metal tooth scraper and I would have to clean my teeth 2 or 3 times a week. Now I don't have the health risk. I feel better. It's easier for me to come out and cut firewood now. Then the other thing is we don't have any bills. Insurance, cell phones, that's all we have. That's the only thing that I'm required to pay every month. And the cell phones, that's, you know, because we want to stay connected a little bit. The insurance is on the truck. I don't have insurance on the property. We've talked about that many times. And I'll link a video right here on the screen so you can watch that video about insurance and trespassing and all that in the state of Missouri. It's a huge asset not to have to pay property insurance. But then the other thing is food. When we do go shopping, I mean, we're trying to get away from shopping altogether. That'd be $200 a month that we save, but we only spend $200 a month at the grocery store. But you go to your discount food stores, and instead of going with a list of things, don't go with a list. You go in, I need meat today. I gotta have meat. Well, don't go in and say, I need a steak. No, you go in and look for the sales. We go on Fridays because we know Save-A-Lot has sales on Fridays, and they'll reduce hamburger from, what is it, $20 for 5 pounds down to $10 for 5 pounds. So what is that, $2 a pound? And you go online and you can find out what's on sale. Carolyn does that. The Save-A-Lot has a lot of Facebook things that she looks and sees that, okay, they're having a sale on this, and then we'll go and get that. And then we buy a month's worth of food. So if they have a sale on chicken, for example, that's what we'll buy, just chicken. And yes, you got to eat chicken all month. Well, you know, I try to find the best deals on steak. No, you got to find the best deals on meat. We want the best products to eat. We want to sit down and feel good about it. But food's just like breathing. You have to do it. Why have to spend so much money at it? So if you'll check out that video, I'll really appreciate it. Not only will you learn something, you'll help me promote this video, because the algorithm will think, he likes this video and the next video. So I hope I can inspire you to think how to reduce your cost so you live your dream. Thanks for watching.